This is the Throttle Out Show presented by Vixen Industries, the only show where monster truck drivers and mechanics come together to present what's happening in the monster truck community. It's the ultimate combination of torque, horsepower, and trash talk. And now for your hosts. First, straight out of the heart of Detroit Rock City, it's Kid Rock's neighbor and former driver of the BKT ride truck. It's Austin Spence. And the duo deep in the heart of Texas, it's the show owner and daughter of a man who conquered the industry for over 20 years. It's Harley Johnson, along with everyone's favorite Bryce Kenny lookalike, Austin Tweedy. So go ahead, fuel up, strap in, and remember, when in doubt, throttle out.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. My name is Austin Spence, and thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight for our weekend recap. I am joined by my two other co-hosts in the heart of Texas, Miss Harley Johnson and Mr. Austin Tweedy. What's going on, guys?
You first.
Me first. I'm ready for another Sunday. I'm still trying to recover from last night's episode, which we don't usually do a Saturday episode, but that was a lot of fun.
We had a blast yesterday. We're looking forward to doing more of it. And I just want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Connor Bauer, the best Jelly _ 2.0, for hooking us up with the awesome live stream yesterday. That was a freaking blast on our end, and I can't wait to do it again.
Dude, it seems like you guys had an absolute blast. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to tune in and kind of give my 2 cents. I was cracking up the entire time you guys were throwing up the scorecards out there. I was still driving in Ohio to come back home, so there's just no way, place, and time I was able to hop on and join you guys. But it just seemed like so much fun. And Connor's, so one of the best parts, and I just want to talk about this right now because I'm sure a lot of people that tuned in and checked that out noticed it, but Mr. Austin Tweedy, there were moments that Connor is screaming and up on his feet and yelling like, yeah, that was awesome. And Tweedy is so monotone. It's like, yeah, that was some pretty big air. That was a good backflip. Like, dude, like you just completely killed the mood for this poor guy.
Hey, real quick shout out to everybody watching tonight. What's up, Don Cretin? How you doing? John Cadeau, Slinger Groove, Monster Jam updates. Cameron Tweedy, Joseph Rodriguez, and Jesus Madrigal. What's up, y'all? We're going to have fun tonight. We got a lot to cover. Austin, you about ready to get down to the action?
Dude, let's get into it, man. I'm excited.
What are we starting with first, Harley?
Let's start off with the Monster Jam shows in Huntsville, Alabama.
Okay.
There was, 6 shows, but we've only gotten 5 so far?
Yes, 5 of the 6 shows. Good grief. That's a tough one to say. 6 shows? No, it's 6 shows have taken place. There's actually one more show tomorrow, believe it or not, on a Monday. Don't know who booked that, who thought that was a great idea, but there is one more arena show from the Huntsville Monster Jam crew taking place tomorrow. So, starting with Friday's event, a keynote to take for this show is Austin. There was Monster Jam Hall of Fame driver driving Stone Crusher. Can you bring that person in for us?
Oh my gosh, guys. See, so first of all, we all know that he's been out of the seat. He's driven Gravedigger for years and years and years. Just released not too long ago that his old truck, Excalibur's coming back, but Mr. Chucky Pauken got behind the wheel of Stone Crusher this weekend, and I think took home some hardware too.
Yes, he sure did. Yep, he's a good candidate to drive Stone Crusher. It was super motivating to me to see him back behind the seat. A lot of us thought that he was possibly retired. There was no official announcement made. Once COVID hit last year, all those drivers were released, and nothing was said about Chucky Pauken's status. Here he is driving for an independent team, so possibly, not going back to Monster Jam, but obviously available to still drive, and here he is kicking butt. So let's start with the show results from Friday. Austin, why don't you give us Friday's rundown?
Oh, man, dude. So Friday's rundown. So going into round number 1, we had Great Clips Mohawk Warrior taking out Jester, which, let's be honest, the Jester and the Pags, they're mainly known for being more of a stadium type of group. So kind of no surprise there. And Miss Kristen Anderson taking out Hooked as well. Going to the semifinals, you had Great Clips Mohawk Warrior taking out Chucky Pauken. Moving into the final round, Kraken defeats Gravedigger. Unfortunately, though, Kraken unable to advance, which this is just what it says here. We have no idea what stipulations or what may have happened. May have lost a transmission, may have lost an axle, who knows. But final round of racing goes Gravedigger taking out Mohawk Warrior. Gravedigger taking home some hardware in racing. Moving on to two-wheel skill. Our top 3, starting in 3rd place, Chucky Pauken taking 3rd place with a 7.4. Kristen Anderson taking an 8.178 in second place for two-wheel. But first place goes to Great Clips Mohawk Warrior with a 9.7. Great Clips taking the two-wheel skills challenge. And then moving on to donuts, which kind of odd seeing a donut competition added as well to another element in everything with arenas. Now, before we move on to the results, this image here, I sent this recently to Mr. Tweedy and everybody here on the Throttle Out show. This, I love this. Drivers going out of their way, and not just drivers, but Mr. Scott Jordan there going out of their way to sit and talk with fans that had a great experience at the track. Super awesome, super cool of you guys to be able to do that, Elvis and Kristen, if you guys are ever tune in and actually check us out. But anyway, getting back into the competition, donut winner goes to Kristen with a 9.6, followed by Jester with a 9.076, and Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. So Elvis and Great Clips, he's staying pretty consistent in the arena tours, trying to keep up there with Kristen. I just think a lot of people are a little bit biased when it comes to voting for, the black and green record machine, but that's just me. Now, freestyle results. Third place went to Gravedigger with a 6.963. Great Clips Mohawk Warrior gets a 8.25. But the winner of freestyle in that event is none other than Mr. Chucky Pauken and Stone Crusher with an 8.679. So congrats to Chucky for being out of the truck for so long.
Yeah.
And getting out there dominating freestyle, dude.
Welcome back and congrats. Now we'll talk about the Saturday afternoon show. I'll kind of speed it up a little bit since there are 5 shows for us to cover from the arena show. The Saturday afternoon show racing goes to none other than Gravedigger defeating Elvis Linez in the Mohawk Warrior. Great Clip Skills competition goes to Elvis in the Mohawk Warrior. Donuts, Kristen Anderson and Gravedigger. Freestyle going right back to Stone Crusher. Is that right, Austin?
I think
for
you might
Saturday
have
show.
Yep, you're right. Stone Crusher going back to another freestyle win, but the overall goes to Miss Kristen Anderson with a total of 21 points as an overall event champion.
So she's 2 for 2 so far during this
2
one. Why don't you hit us with the Saturday night show?
So Saturday, I know I was kind of bagging on the Pags a little bit, but Kristen Anderson meets Matt Pagliarulo in Jester in the finals in racing. Kristen still whoops his butt. But Team Pagliarulo comes back in two-wheel skills with Kraken taking out a win, but with Kristen in second place. Kristen still staying up there and consistent. Donut competition goes to Gravedigger. Kraken also falling behind, so a little bit of a neck-and-neck battle in this event for the two kind of going at it. And then freestyle winner goes to Great Clips Mohawk Warrior with Gravedigger in second and Kraken in third. Adding all the points together, Kraken was still a little bit shy, but Gravedigger takes another event championship win with 22 points, with Kraken a little bit behind at 17. So Kristen is now 3 for 3 in event wins. And I believe that was Saturday evening show. So as of right now, we're all caught up. We don't know what may have happened today for the Sunday show.
I've got one show for today. I've got the whatever you want to call it, the afternoon show. We've got for racing, Elvis Linez, Great Clips Mohawk Warrior, won racing. Don't know who he defeated, but Elvis trying to work his way up there, trying to break Kristen Anderson's streak of just sweeping this entire weekend. Two-wheel skills goes to none other than Elvis in the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. Donuts goes to Nick Pagliarulo in the Kraken. Freestyle going to Kristen in the Gravedigger machine. But of course, Elvis did it. He won the overall and defeated Kristen's streak of sweeping the entire weekend. So she's 3 for 4 on the weekend so far. Now, there is a show that is either going on right now or it has just ended. I don't have the stats for that.
But can we just talk about a Monday show for an arena event? Like, I know it's summertime. Don't get me wrong. I know a lot of people are out of school. A lot of kids, are on summer break and everything. But who plans to go to a monster truck show on a Monday? Like, that's more of a county fair type of deal,
Maybe people over there in Alabama, maybe they want 6 shows. I don't know.
Well, yeah, you got a point. And there's not really many arena shows that Monster Jam does that usually caters to 6 shows. I think one of them is, it's that Chicago show everyone likes to complain about because of the weather. Do you guys remember which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, I can't think of the...
oh, my goodness.
Oh, my mind right now. Yeah, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Rosemont, thank you, Monster Jam Updates. You're great. Yeah. Thank you. You're amazing.
I was going to say Altamont.
Altamont. I believe Rosemont is definitely one of them. So we got Huntsville, Rosemont, and I believe the big one, I believe Tacoma is known for doing like 5 or 6 shows. Are they not?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's another really, really big show. Yeah. Literally everybody's like Rosemont. Thanks. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
No, you're not wrong. But with that being said, we just want to give a huge shout out. We notice you crew guys back there busting your ass, independent crew guys as well, busting your ass for what a big weekend it was in Monster Trucks, but especially that Huntsville, Alabama show, trying to rock out 6 shows. That's absolutely unheard of. Typically, y'all are traveling back on a Monday. Those trucks are on the way back to the shop, but no, they've got another damn show to do on a Monday. So hats off to y'all crew guys making that show work. So we're done with the arena stuff for now. Let's kind of move on to Kansas City and what happened there. So y'all noticed that yesterday we did a live stream. We had a lot of fun with it. We had a few beers. I think next time we might get some nachos and some popcorn, actually act like we're up there in the stands. But we had such a blast yesterday. We'll go ahead.
You know what they definitely needed out there in Kansas City? Some beers and ponchos, because that looked like an absolute mud fest.
Yeah, they had plenty.
It was a muddy show.
They had plenty of gears and nachos at the show. I don't know about beers and ponchos. Yeah, I think right. But we ran that show down yesterday. Max D ended up winning racing. The racing was awesome to me. There were a lot of drivers who had come from behind wins, such as Bari Musauer in round 1. Very first race.
Yeah, the very first race was the most exciting race out of yesterday.
Yeah,
who was it? Who was it between? Who was Barry lining up against? I wasn't watching. Was it Adam?
I thought it was Great Clips.
It was, yeah.
Oh,
I think it was.
I think it was Great Clips. Someone in the comments, they can fact check
my
on
goodness.
that one.
Well, no, I remember like hearing the stream, and apparently there was a race that went on that wasn't official, and they had to rerun it.
Oh, it was Todd's and
Great Clips.
Great Clips race.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was one of the Anderson boys. Slinger Groom's right. Yeah.
So Barry first round knocks out Adam Anderson.
Yeah, it was a crazy. All the racing was crazy.
Yeah.
And I will say, just as I predicted, if Tom can get out of round 1, this is speaking as of this year strictly. If Tom gets out of round 1, watch out. Most of the time he's going to the finals, and he did. He won racing against Adam Anderson. Right? Was it Adam or Ryan? Here we go.
It was Ryan. It was Ryan.
So the racing, I personally thought, was absolutely spectacular. The mud added a completely different element to the show that we, the fans, have been wanting for a little while. In that Monster Jam racing, the skills challenge ended up going to yesterday.
Cynthia
went to Cynthia.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, she had a pretty cool donut, right?
Mhm.
I didn't get to see
She
the
did.
donut.
No, her donut is definitely the best. There were some good ones, but she came at and just did a good 1-2 right into her donut, just kind of slid around and then did like 87 revolutions. I'm surprised I didn't shut her off, but she had a really good donut and won the skills. Freestyle ended up going to Barry Musauer. We on the show placed our votes last night.
Our scores.
Our scores. We had the old school scorecards. Truth be told, I thought Max D should have definitely won freestyle. Barry hit his backflip. He popped his tire. They shut him off. That was the end of his run. Well, Max D was getting some of the biggest air of the night, did his backflip, and continued his freestyle, did a badass donut at the end. We gave him a 9. Each of us gave him a 9. Barry still ended up winning away with the show. So nothing, against Barry, but we thought Max D had a better run last night. And then Adam Anderson goes out, does his freestyle. He scored a 1 from me, so clearly he was not going to be good enough to win freestyle. Whatever, no big deal. But it was a really good show. We had a great time. But I do think the overall ended up going to Adam yesterday.
Adam got the overall.
Typical gravedigger. But Harley, I need an honest answer. Did you take his 10 away when Todd LeDuc went out for freestyle?
I tried to. Before even Todd came out for his freestyle, he had his 10 ready to show. I tried to take away. He wouldn't let me.
Dude, you gotta fanboy. See, this is what's wrong with judging, man. Like we talk crap about everybody upvoting Gravedigger, then we got these guys that are Monster Energy fanboys.
Hold on. I gotta brag on myself yesterday. I gave Todd an honest score. I also
what, a 9?
Listen, no.
I gave Todd a higher score.
She gave Todd a higher score, and when Ryan did his freestyle, I actually gave Ryan a higher score than Todd.
That is true.
That is surprising because I know how much you like to dog on that truck.
Oh, the truck's stupid. Yeah, it's easily the dumbest truck ever created in Monster Trucks, no doubt. But no, I mean, obviously, huge fan of Ryan Anderson. How can you not respect that guy and his driving style? And I gave Ryan a higher score than Todd. So
I love that
I don't
Connor
wanna hear
Bauer gave a shout out to Monster Energy not winning anything.
That was
yesterday.
awesome.
That
That was amazing. I saw that. I couldn't stop laughing.
if you go to Connor Bauer's Instagram or my Instagram, it's on my story. He's like, yeah, the best part was that Monster Energy did not want to race in. And I was like, wow, what a jerk. So go check that out.
Connor, I cannot wait to see you in Mears this upcoming weekend, buddy, for
So
sure.
go ahead, Harley Joe. Go to what happened today at Kansas City.
All right.
This is Tristan England, Adam Anderson, and Gravedigger versus Megalodon final round of racing. Track conditions were slightly better today, kind of slick, but not as bad as yesterday. And this is the final round of racing. And honestly, I thought the ending of this race was too close to call, but it ended up going to Tristan England and Megalodon, getting his first ever racing win in the stadiums. Monster Mud Galaxy Dalmatian went straight to Rebound City after hitting that big jump. And here is Adam in freestyle. Going to hit him a nice little backflip, lands it perfectly. And then this, Austin, what do you think about this?
Why was he in the gas while all four wheels were off the ground? That's a rookie move, man. Like being an Anderson, you should know better than that. Come on, man.
I don't know what he was thinking, man. I don't know. Cooper Knuckles, what's going on, man? Thanks for tuning in. Wayne Jr., how you doing? Hey, David Too Tall, I see you. I see you. What happened? I thought you were there at the show yesterday. I thought you were going to come out in Jurassic Attack for the finale.
No, honestly, a big, huge shout out to the Paxton crew because we thought when I was listening to you guys, it sounded like Tom may have lost a motor or something after racing. Did he not?
It looked like it did.
I don't even know what happened, honestly, because I was getting a hold of some people who were there at the show, and they told me that Max D wasn't going to come back. So I got straight up lied to by somebody whose name I'm not going to mention right now. So yeah,
we'll be calling you out later.
We both thought that he wasn't going to be coming back, and then he comes back and lays the killer freestyle down. So there's that.
Well, you can never knock out the professor. Now, how did the Kohlers do? Because I know you had Jim Kohler and you also had his son out there competing, and I heard there was a little bit like transmission issues with at least one of the trucks.
So check this out. Chris Kohler goes out first round and beats his dad, Jim Kohler, in Avenger in racing. Just straight up takes it to him. We were pumped. We were like, man, maybe we slept on him. Maybe he's the underdog. However, Jim ended up having some issues with the truck. Like you said, a transmission issue. Well, whenever they tried to fire up Chris for the next round, I think it was for the next round, either skills.
For the next round of racing, Chris didn't fire the truck back up, and then for skills, he didn't fire the truck up either.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I guess was probably in the back, maybe.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of is maybe he was in the back working on Avenger, because typically when a truck's going to go out for any competition, they're going to test that truck. But all they did real quick is they put his video, up on the board, and then it went away real fast. So, I mean, I'm assuming maybe he was just in the back wrenching on the transmission. And they got Jim back out for skills. That was pretty badass. And he had a good skills run. He and Ryan were the only two people who didn't do a donut yesterday.
Man, that's the only thing that kind of sucks about, rain being like, I love rain when it comes to the racing aspect, because that's a whole nother element. That's a whole nother thing you have to kind of take into consideration, because watching some of the highlights I did when I finally got home, seeing how wide some of these guys were going in those turns, like some of them I thought were damn near going to go into the barriers, like all the way in the crash barriers. And still like looping it around.
Adam hit one of the trucks yesterday. I think he hit Axe whenever he made a wide turn.
Well, that's the problem. Yep. Feld, you got to send a check over to Team Scream for all the damages you caused. I don't care if it was a scratch. It's like $5,000 worth of damage. So hook those guys up.
So Knuckles is saying that it was a tire on Max D and a trans cooler. That's why we saw a lot of the O-ring on the trans cooler busted. That's why we saw a lot of smoke. I thought, damn, I'm like, wow, that really sucks. He wins racing, goes out, does a donut, and blow a motor, but and I'm not being a big deal, but he still wasn't able to come back out. Or did he come out? I can't remember.
He didn't come out for skills.
But anywho, moving forward, you got something you want to talk about for just a minute, Harley, with Vixen Industries and what Miss Becky McDonough was up to this weekend.
Yeah, Becky and with the Titan Monster Truck and Vixens, they've been in Coos Bay, Oregon for, since Wednesday. So Wednesday up until today, they were doing a UTV Takeover event. And today, Titan got to go in the sand dunes and put on a little show for everyone watching there.
Look at them rooster tails. That is awesome.
Look at the flags on the truck, though. You got to have those orange flags out there when you're running in the dunes.
that is just so funny to me because you obviously see it with like ATVs and stuff because you don't know what's like peeking on the other side.
Mhm.
But with something this big, don't you think, it's a bright yellow, 10-foot tall truck, and you still need to have these like 20-foot flags on it just so people can see where you're coming from? Still, this is pretty awesome seeing an exhibition run like this. It almost kind of reminds me of when the Pagliarulos came up to Michigan and did their whole thing with the side-by-side blog guys.
No, this is clearly awesome. I mean,
Good Lord, she looks so good.
yeah. I was just
Oh man,
about how damn good that truck looks all the time, and just a perfect spot for this truck to be in Coos Bay.
sorry, I'm salivating a little bit. Oh my gosh,
It's a beautiful
it's
I
beautiful, man.
idea. I think Becky, you need to get on that.
It needs some pink.
Mhm.
I'm just saying. I said it before. We need just an exact clone of Titan, but just Vixen on the side and pink.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's honestly just too good of a truck. It is just, oh my gosh, man. If Monster Jam ever did a show and shine award for their pit parties at the World Finals, like best looking truck in pit party, I think that would actually be kind of cool. Like a show and shine world champion in monster trucks.
No, but like what you
Titan would win
said.
every year.
No, what you said, black and pink, and they
Mhm.
call it Miss Titan with Vixen Industries, obviously on the rest of the truck.
Why not just call it Vixen though?
I guess you could do that. You have a Titan Vixen. Okay.
Or what about this? Titan was always kind of stipulated towards like male. What if we called it Valkyrie? Or something like there's always
You're-
different names you could throw out there, but still,
You're above my education level there.
what education? No, I'm just saying Becky deserves her own like name. Like she has been Miss El Toro Loco. She represented a company's name. I
Mhm.
just think Becky should have her own name, her own identity that is her. And not like a spinoff of somebody else's. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with Miss Titan. If she wants to have Miss Titan, by all means. But I just think Becky, with her reputation and how she is, I think she deserves her own identity, her own brand to
Yeah,
represent
just
her.
do a truck and just call it Vixen Industries. Just do it like a sponsored truck.
There you go. I'm all for that. If they could do it, even if it's just slap a body on, do that as well.
So I always love reading our comments there for everybody who tunes in. First of all, thank you so much for tuning in. But a comment from Higher Ground saying that he was born in Coos Bay and it's such it's a dune town. So we got somebody from the Coos Bay area knowing what it's like out there. And Wayne Norbert Jr., you're right. Titan is a very sharp looking truck. So let's change gears. Let's go from first straight to second. Austin, we had another Monster Truck Hall of Fame member return to the seat for the first time. The first time since 1992 is what I was told. Marty Garza returns to the seat in his own truck, Overkill Evolution.
That is awesome.
This is huge.
Dude, and he's tiring up the truck. Look at
By
that.
himself,
By
yeah.
himself.
He's got his phone set up on a little stand back there, and he's recording himself. He's just out there being a
Nice.
one-man show this weekend. But I mean, Austin, it's one thing for a team owner to just be like, hey, you can, hire out a driver. They can drive for a year or two, but I'm driving every once in a while. He's not drove a damn one time since 92 other than moving the truck around in pit party or something like that. And there he is looking sharp right in front of his truck. And here he is. Y'all need to check out his book, Monster Truck Technology, wrote by Marty Garza himself. Austin, NASCAR, they've had, body changes, some minor mechanical changes since the start of NASCAR. But Monster Trucks has come a long ways since the early 80s.
You're absolutely right.
And
100%.
Marty covers all of that in that book. You can go to I think it's monstertrucktechnology.com. If you go back to that slide real quick, Carly, it should say right at the end of the stream there. Whoops.
And you missed it.
It did. Somewhere
And there.
Right there. Oh.
It's okay.
How I believe you can get yourself a copy of that book. I'm going to go ahead and order mine probably today or tomorrow. And that book's been out for a while for no reason. I've not ordered, but I need to go ahead and get my hands on that bad boy.
Definitely. If you guys want to learn anything about monster trucks and just in your own time, it goes from everything. And it's not just from like the dawn of monster trucks. It's like a lot of the technology that has been taking from different areas of like different either motorsports. Like if you remember when monster trucks started going into the whole CAD design and tube chassis, Bob Chandler teamed up with Dan Patrick and literally took what Dan Patrick knew from designing the drag cars, like from the was it like the funny car truck poles or funny car track poles or whatever it was called, and literally made a tube frame chassis truck and was number 8, if I remember correctly. And they had to ban it because so many other guys had to try and catch up to what they have discovered. So it's super awesome. If you want to learn anything about monster trucks, I highly, highly recommend checking out that book and educating yourself a little bit on the history and where this sport has came. Now, with that being said, I feel like this is something we should all kind of sit down and talk about, because when it comes to the evolution of any kind of a sport, there is always everything around us is changing. Like if you look back, monster trucks haven't been around nearly as long as some of these other forms of motorsports. I think NASCAR started way back in like the 20s or 30s or something like that. Monster trucks have only really been around since like late 70s, early 80s. And here's my only kind of critique, because back in the day, if you look at the old Lee Spring trucks, as they were all mainly set up as show trucks, everybody was doing something different. Everyone was always kind of like building and trying something new. You had still small blocks. You had big blocks. You had guys using plane engines. You had diesels. Everything was different and unique until we kind of got to a point where everything is now kind of a cookie cutter truck. You could get a hold of CRD. You could get a hold of, Eddie. You could get a hold of Eddie. You can even go ahead and metal shop, and they'll build you a truck from like a catalog, essentially.
Obviously, Patrick.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, PEI and Patrick Enterprises. Now, here's the only thing that I'm kind of critiquing. The drivetrain of monster trucks. I'm talking the big block with the 871 blower has been the same type of technology for like 30 years. Big blocks are not produced in vehicles anymore. If you want any kind of big power for a monster truck, you have to literally order a custom block, even though it's technically a big block Chevy. Nobody from Chevrolet makes a block that caliber. You have to go to Dart. You have to go to Merlin. You have to go to an aftermarket manufacturer to have a block built for said application. Now, here is kind of something I was talking to my friend Denver Echterenkamp just the other day about this. With technology and engines nowadays, you can literally order from Dodge a over 1,000 horsepower crate engine. Same thing with Chevrolet with, like, I believe the LSX 454. But a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to put a small block in a monster truck. Guys, with technology nowadays and what we've, how far we've advanced in just engine technology alone, I think one day we're going to kind of get away from 540s being the basis of monster truck drivetrain, and we're going to go into something more modern, because let's be honest, monster trucks are kind of slacking and, moving forward in the idea of fuel injection, when fuel injection's been around since late 1980s, getting away from carburetors. We just finally made that leap in 2010, 2020. I think we need to have a big change, especially in liability in our drivetrains in this sport. I think we need a huge change.
Well, I mean, we've obviously seen, you're talking about, vehicles being alcohol, run off of gas, so on and so forth. But I mean, just to talk about the elephant in the room, we're talking about different fuels in monster trucks. The diesel community has clearly grown within the last 10 to 15 years. That technology is changing all the time. We've seen, obviously, the XDP Extreme Diesel Performance monster truck driven by Dave Radzira's experiment between, was it the 5.9 Cummins and then the 6.7 Cummins, and
right.
Then you have the guys with the Brodozer team, representing the team Duramax, and with the Wagner competition Duramax. Diesel performance has come a long way. So I mean, I know, Austin, you weren't a big fan of the diesel drivetrain. If all the other trucks are the same, why should this one be different? At least in the Monster Jam fleet. But I mean, I applaud those guys for even trying to experiment with that, try to fine tune that. And don't get me wrong, they had engine troubles just the same amount, as anybody else running a 540 big block Chevy or Merlin. But I mean, I'm a firm believer here before too much longer. Those guys can get that shit figured out to where they're not blowing engines as often. And some guys might be leaning towards the diesel community.
I got nothing against the diesels as anything. I mean, you go to a truck and tractor pull, diesels are still very prominent and still very powerful and capable of handling a ton of power. I mean, it's incredible seeing what they're capable of. It's just one of the major elements of this industry, monster trucks. You know, you have a big, obnoxious truck that is also obnoxiously loud. And I remember before Brodozer made its competition debut, I believe you and I were there at Tampa, where they were just kind of testing it out in the arena floor, and you could hear everything on that truck bang and clang. You could hear the forelinks, you could hear the limit straps. You could hear everything on that truck because it's not as loud as a methanol 540 blown supercharged engine. So that's why a lot of people, I could see them be like, all right, I'm going to go with a Hemi blah, blah, blah from, Chrysler. I'm going to go with a LS whatever from Chevrolet. I'm not saying monster trucks are ever going to go electric. Like I'm just going to put that out there right now. We saw Bigfoot do it, but let's be honest. Electric monster trucks are only cool if they're only 1/10 scale. Let's be honest.
So Levi Jones, Mike Hedman, and Scott Bryant is watching. And Scott Bryant's comment is discussions are happening. The modern world is coming. And he's absolutely right. What he said, would like to see a Paxton style blower used too. Austin Minton is watching as well. What's Austin's comment? Let's see what he's got to say. Why would you get away from something reliable, mechanical injection that we still run and put temperamental EFI? You're not wrong, dude. You're absolutely not wrong. I think the whole thing with that is obviously Phil had to gravitate towards that. And I believe Shane England was running EFI before Monster Jam started doing it. And Monster Jam caught one of it. It was like, well, we got to take it to the next level with the EFI. So they got with Holly, ran their system, and it's working for them. When I was with a company and that first came in, okay, every truck during first quarter has got to be EFI. There were a lot of trucks that left the shop that still weren't EFI. There was a lot of mechanical parts, a lot of EFI parts were on back order, and it was physically impossible to get all the trucks changed over. But this is what was frustrating to me. Okay, me personally, we're doing stuff like morning media, okay, at 5 a.m. And during first quarter, it don't matter where you're at in the U.S., even in Glendale, Arizona, which is where we were at in the specific situation I'm talking about. You got to do morning media at 5 a.m., and it's cool outside. It's cold outside. You're bringing those trucks in. You're having them pushed in or whatever you got to do. It's a pain enough to get that truck started and warmed up. It's twice the headache when you got to start up a cold EFI truck and let that baby run. That computer is always learning. It's always changing. You don't have to mess with what we call the pill in the monster truck. And, it can, you typically, when you're running a mechanical style, what we call mechanical fuel injection on a truck, you don't have to, you choose how much fuel you want to squirt into that motor, right? How much fuel you want to squirt into that engine. Right. With the EFI setup, it does all that stuff for you. I will never forget during that morning media, and all of us were having issues trying to keep our trucks running because they wanted to die immediately. They're trying to learn the environment they were in. And somebody goes and they get their laptop. They plug it into the truck. Charlie Pawkins standing there, and he goes, I never thought I would see the day that we would have to plug a USB port into a damn monster truck. I'll never forget that as long as I live. Chucky's seen, he's been around as, just as long as Marty Garza, if not longer. But I want to get back to talking about Marty Garza for just a minute. Okay. A few years ago when I was on tour with XDP during a Monster Jam first quarter, Overkill Evolution and Mike Vaughter Sr. and Black Stallion, they were on our tour. So obviously we hung out with that crew a lot, going out to dinner with those guys. Super great guys, down to earth. But Marty Garza is somebody, every chance I got, we would go out to dinner, just pick his brain about the Pinda series, trucks changing. And I don't know how long he was kind of sitting and marinating on writing that book, but maybe that kind of stemmed from all the damn questions I asked him when we were on tour together. But Marty is such a nice guy, down to earth. He'll talk to anybody. Being a team owner and getting away from driving and just wanting to invest in the truck and invest in Mikey and get in that team Evo, winning Monster Jam World Finals championships. Getting away from driving says a lot about a team owner and how humble that guy is. So seeing him getting back into driving meant a lot to me personally. I was excited. And I know he went to the finals in racing yesterday. I don't know if there was a show there today. I don't know what the results were from that show, but I love seeing Marty Garza driving.
Yeah, right. Now I'll just kind of close off my idea of modern fuel injection, modernizing monster trucks. That we already know somebody that is running kind of a modern drivetrain, not a monster truck, but a mega truck. Corey Rummel. He is doing a 4.8 liter LS based junkyard motor, slapping an 871 on it and going mud bogging. I mean, and we know how Corey is when it comes to him in the competition mud bogs. The dude is crazy, and it holds up. But that's not just it. Like, there's so many people. You could go on YouTube and type in anything for an LS swap. These motors from a junkyard can handle so much power. So I understand everyone's like, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I understand that, but I'm just saying times are changing. Everything else about these trucks have changed with, safety and other kind of regulations. And we're now looking at, fuel economy. Jerry Beck kind of put in the comments as lower emissions in small arenas. He's absolutely right. Because I remember seeing some of these trucks when we first did the electronic fuel injection, how little they use fuel in stadiums and arenas. And that not only is that just fuel economy, that's saving owners and everybody else's some money. That methanol isn't cheap, guys. So that's all I'm trying to say is if we move towards something more modern, maybe it might cost a little bit now, but in the long run, it'll probably save some guys some money and headache.
I think that's kind of what Monster Jam was trying to gravitate towards, but also just Monster Jam being MJ. They want to be the first to really take something and run with it. But getting back to Austin Minton's comment, why would you want to get away from something reliable and go to something temperamental EFI? We got David Too Tall watching. I mentioned that already, saying second Austin and Jared and Kayla Eichelberger, third Austin, and honestly, I agree for the most part. If I'm going to go build a truck right now, if the Throttle Out show goes out and we build a truck, I'm not putting EFI on the truck right now. I'm not saying that once Monster Jam and all these other teams get the kinks figured out, maybe we could do something like that. But Jerry Beck watching tonight was just talking about, why we try to gravitate towards EFI, change with the times, be modern. We want to lower the emissions in small arenas. Austin, with that comment, and you were talking about this earlier, when the Brodozer truck came in and was testing in that arena, because they were wanting to run Brodozer in the first ever arena show in Tampa, Florida at Amalie Arena. They wanted to run Brodozer. They couldn't get the diesel thing figured out. There was so much smoke in that arena. I thought it was going to be in there the next day. We were just completely fogged out in there. But you were talking about how the truck was landing. You could hear everything, which was so weird. If y'all could just imagine a monster truck out there running and you took away the sound, you put the engine on mute. If you could just do that and listen to that truck run through that arena, words can't describe how awkward it was for everybody. It was like, man, I'm not going to say who was driving the truck, but yes, I will. Dustin Brown was driving the truck. If you could hear Dustin just like grunt or talk to his guy on the headset, you swear you could hear him talking to him. It was so weird. You could hear Dustin Brown think and just try to figure out his next move. It was so quiet in that damn arena, but that's that.
Yeah, monster trucks are not meant to be quiet. I'm not against diesels. I'm just saying I'm just against diesels and monster trucks. So anyway, I guess moving on. What else do we got in the books for tonight?
Harley Joe.
We also had our guy Spence go to a throwdown show this weekend.
Yes, I did.
I want to talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this throwdown show, Spence. You want to go ahead and play those the other footage that he sent us real quick before we get into screen
Do
share?
you want the sound on, Spence?
Yes, for intros, we got to have the sound on because throwdown intros are amazing. So we're going to be quiet so you guys can listen to this.
This is your field of trucks for the afternoon. Now let's meet up. Start counting down on the
All right.
All right. As you guys can see, it was an absolutely stacked lineup, but there were 9 trucks actually there because Elliot did bring his Sinistar truck. And it's a good thing, too, because this guy right here, haven't seen this guy in years, Mr. Greg Rickenbach. I might be butchering his name. Sorry. But on this hit right here for his best trick, he completely snaps, if you could see it, the right rear shock shaft. It's laying in the middle of the track, completely gone and broken. Sad. Wasn't able to make it back for racing or for freestyle. But, Sinistar was able to come out and lay down a couple of really good freestyle hits for the remainder of the night. So this is show number 2, mind you, that I was able to go to. They had the first show on Friday, and it was also an absolute mud fest. And you could see, just looking at the track as Reckless Driving's going around, hardly any of the obstacles have actually been hit. So everything was still pretty fresh. And unfortunately for Corey Rummel, as you could kind of notice in Avenger, he popped both left side tires and actually had to go to somebody for a spare. So it was quite a wild show. And yes, Levi, thank you for calling me out. I did actually pick up myself a pink Monster Truck Throwdown flag for this show. So, well, here's the thing. So when we went to the Springport show, my wife Katie, she saw at the DCT Power Sports tent that they had like the really cool like tie-dye shirts that you could get for Quad Chaos. And I really like the pink shirts that they have of Quad Chaos with the new, like, it's like pink and turquoise and the zebra stripes and everything. And as we went over there, they didn't have anything of the tie-dye that was like bigger than a medium. And I'm like, well, what do you have for the pink shirts? So she went and got the pink, the DCT Power Sports Quad Chaos shirt. And I'm like, you know what? I can't get a pink shirt, but I'm going to rock some pink with you. So I grabbed myself a little pink Throwdown checkered flag, and I'm waving it around, and I'm having a blast. Some of the old people are looking at me like, what the hell? So having a great old time. I mean, I had an absolute blast. But thank you for calling me out, Levi. I really appreciate it.
What were your results from that show?
So I've never shared my screen before, so bear with me, guys. I actually have some other footage from the show. And this was technically, share screen. I clearly have no idea what I am doing. So again, bear with me.
Pros over here.
Yeah.
No, I am not a pro. So let me go in here, and we actually had a all team screen finale in racing between Mr. Corey Rummel and Craig Champion for racing. And as you can see, like, I wish I recorded sooner, but Corey actually went to spin him out as they're coming out from the pit stall. Because Corey wanted this lane. So the turning corner where you could see Brutus was actually extremely slick for these guys. And you might be able to see it a little bit in this video, but it was really, really, really slick and slippery. And it was really funny because I had this old lady that was sitting behind us that this was like her first monster truck show ever. And she's like asking me all these questions, like, why do they put down so much water out there if the trucks are going to slide? I'm like, trust me, wet and muddy is better than dry and dusty. But I mean, this guy, Craig Champion, I got to give him props. He is the newest member to Team Scream as far as a driver. He comes from a mega truck background, and this guy can throw down. This guy is an amazing driver. He put on a great performance at Springport, even in his own mega truck, which putting it out there, I forgot to upload some of the videos and stuff on our YouTube channel, so bear with me. But the dude is incredibly talented. He's from out by Kalamazoo, so not too far from me. But for Corey Rummel, for those of you that don't know, he's actually from North Jackson, Ohio. So this is they were promoting this as this was like Corey's hometown show.
Okay.
And Corey came out. I'm sorry that I recorded this as long as I have. I'm trying to drag this on. But as they go green, just good old-fashioned, really tight Chicago-style racing. Craig had the jump in the beginning, but you could get the corner tight over here. Corey's spinning. We thought Craig Champion had this in the bag, but as you can see, Corey just executing this turn perfectly. Craig getting a little bit too sideways, almost spinning out. Corey Rummel, racing champion for Medina, Ohio, for Monster Truck Throwdown. So super awesome for him to win, get a big racing win in front of everybody, in front of his hometown, in front of his family that was there. It was super cool. Glad we were able to actually be there and be a part of that. But I have a way more clips from this show. Unfortunately, I don't know what is what because nothing is labeled, and I am so sorry for that.
No, but I just kind of want you to tell us real quick, like what was Cinny doing? Was he just like an extra in the show? Did he come out like intermission or after the show and run? Like, what did he do?
Wait, what did who do? Cinny?
Yeah, what did you say?
Sinister? Sinistar?
I didn't know who you were talking about either.
Elliot
Like,
Miller.
what?
Yeah, I didn't know who you're talking about either. I'm like, who are you? Like, Cynthia Gauthier wasn't there. What are you talking about? So he had his truck on pit party for display. Like, you could see it, but nobody was over by it signing autographs. Like, you could kind of see Elliot Miller just walking around doing his own thing. Here's something kind of funny. So as I was walking around to the drivers and pit party, just, talking it up a little bit, Chandler West was there actually signing autographs and everything. And I remember asking him if he was actually going to drive. So they set it up to where Chandler West, he drove for Best Trick, and for racing, Jerry Beck got to climb into the driver's seat for freestyle. And of course, Jerry Beck, representing the Flying Dump Truck, did a phenomenal job. We'll be sure to get more videos and clips out there here soon. The dude laid down an awesome freestyle. But it was really funny because I was asking him, I'm like, so where's Boss Man at? Did he just want to take it easier for weekend? Chandler's like, no, he's in the back grilling this food right now.
Nice. What a good boss.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm saying. It's like, yeah, you could sign autographs. You'll drive the truck. I'm going to go make food. It's like, all right, cool. And
so
then
who ended up winning freestyle?
Corey Rummel doubled down and won freestyle again.
Okay.
So some of the obstacles you kind of saw in the back, they had a FedEx truck there, and it looked like a shuttle bus from like from some kind of a hospital or something they had back there. There were some pretty big obstacles, and the first couple of trucks that came out really didn't want to hit it. Some of them really didn't want to go out there and hit them. They kind of avoided them, just mainly stayed to the racing lane, went for the big bus stack towards the back. And it was still a pretty enjoyable show. The best part, and so sorry, I can't remember his name right now, but whoever was driving Lumberjack for Greg Rickenbach's team truck, it was his birthday that day. And so they shut him off early or towards the end of his run, and they were like announcing, it's like, get out of the truck, get out of the truck, get out of the truck. And this dude is like freaking out. He like throws the Hans off, he jumps out of the truck, he's running, and all the track officials get around him. It's like, oh, we're just kidding. You're fine. We just all want to sing you happy birthday. And the entire crowd sings this guy a happy birthday as he's freaking out like something's wrong with the truck. So super awesome that they were able to do that. Again, I'm sorry that I can't remember the guy's name. I wish I had my Throwdown yearbook with me so I could look it up, but unfortunately it is what it is. But another kind of fun fact about Pit Party, Greg Rickenbach, his son was also standing there signing autographs for him. But Greg got to go out and actually drive. So I'm just sitting here like, man, like these guys are getting kind of lazy with autographs, man. Like
that's what I'm saying. Who do they think they are? The Team Brodozer?
Yeah, no kidding. This ain't Diesel Brothers. Like, come on, man.
Have other people sign your autographs for you? Come on.
Chris Sawicki. Thank you, Mike Hedman. I could not think of his name at the top of my head. But yeah, it was a super fun show. I had an absolute blast. There's two big shows are coming up this week. I'm going to try to make it to both of them. I say big show, but I say it big because Mr. Too Tall, at least I believe Too Tall, there's like a 4-truck show in Toledo Speedway, which is only about an hour and a half from me, and Jurassic Attack and Kamikaze are set to be there for that show. I'd like to finally see Too Tall because it's been a couple of years since I've seen the guy, and I really want to see how he wheels behind Jurassic Attack. The other big show is the big Monster Truck Madness show that Throwdown is putting on this 4th of July weekend up in Mears, Michigan in the Sand Dunes. It's an 8-truck lineup. It's going to be huge, and I cannot wait to check it out.
Well, I hope you get to see Too Tall and give him a hug for me. And just so you know, Too Tall gives really good hugs.
So I kind of want to put a question out there and put it out there on the floor for everybody. And I may be biased, and Tweety, you may agree with me, you may not, but I think fairground shows are the best monster truck shows ever. I honestly think going to a grandstand event, having the food, being in the atmosphere, all the county country folk are super nice. I love country fair. Now, with that being said, I kind of have a question of those that enjoy going to county fairs. Do you prefer funnel cakes or elephant ears?
I gotta be honest with you, listen, you're not gonna like my answer on this one, Austin.
Deep fried Dr. Pepper, I'm assuming.
I don't care for funnel cakes. I ate one at mind you, you're gonna get a kick out of this. I ate one at a local small venue monster truck show when I was little. I got food poisoning from it. So I no longer eat funnel cakes, never will.
How do you get food poisoning from funnel cakes?
I don't know, but
apparently this guy did.
We narrowed it down. That's what I got sick from. So
man, you're soft.
I don't.
You're 10-ply, bud.
But
Anyway.
but I agree with you in the sense of that the small town, small venue monster truck shows are the best because I get to go, like you were saying, like the food trucks that they have there and that good local food that you always have in those good old, the southern part and even just all over the rest of the U.S. But something like on those small shows. And those local food trucks that are there and having some of the best food you'll ever have.
So, okay. I got to say, there's been a couple, I've talked to a couple guys about, their county fairs and some of the stuff they see and go to. Deep fried Twinkies and Oreos is pretty common where I'm at. You got funnel cakes, elephant ears. But one that I heard of, I don't know if this is a Florida thing or what, but I've heard people deep frying alligator.
Yeah.
That just sounds nasty to me.
It's delicious.
Have you had it?
Boy, yeah.
Oh,
That does not surprise me.
Oh, I've had alligator grilled, deep fried. Oh, alligator's awesome.
Oh man, that just the sound of that just makes me want to feel like throwing up. Like, oh, that does not sound good.
All gets it. Corn dogs. Going to these
Yeah.
getting a corn dog. I was trying to explain this to Harley the other day. She didn't understand, but y'all can imagine, being a kid growing up in the monster truck world, being able to travel with my parents, going to all these shows. We went to a lot of county fairs with Schaefer Motorsports, and for some reason, the one thing that I love at each and every show was just going and getting some damn corn on the cob.
Corn on the cob. All right. I'm just imagining Too Tall with a corn dog. I just imagine it looks like a baseball bat, like one of those giant inflatable baseballs as he's walking around with it. Love you, Too Tall. I'm just messing with you.
You're an asshole.
I know, but that's why you keep me. At least I hope so.
No, but I'm talking about the local food. So I announced the show right out of high school, and it was in Clarkville, Tennessee, at their local fairground there. I was announcing a show. And right behind me was their local food truck called the Corn Hut. And they had corn on the cob, and they had all the these crazy seasonings you could put on your corn. And I was just doing like little bits and pieces promos for them. Well, the entire show, they were bringing me food. And there's pictures of me like eating food while I'm announcing. You can imagine why my announcing career didn't last very long.
You eating food while working? That's shocking.
So they were like, quote unquote, sponsoring me during the damn event, bringing me all kinds of stuff, tacos in a bag, different types of seasoning on corn. So and being from Southern Illinois, and just being that there's nothing but cornfields and soybean fields there, I'm a big corn guy.
Okay.
Oh man, yeah, it definitely sounds like you're from Southern Illinois. That's for sure. Corn everywhere. My wife including. You look at her house and it's just cornfields everywhere. But I mean, that's just all there is in Ohio is cornfields, highways, and dirt tracks. That's all there is.
Hey, John Goodell, we're talking about fried alligator. Wants to know, why would you eat something that can eat you? That's a good point.
See, some of these guys get it. Some of these guys in the comments are crazy, man. I want to hear what some of the craziest deep fried anything y'all have ever tried, because to be honest, I'm very tame. I mean, I've had like I said, deep fried Oreos, deep fried Twinkies, and I've even had a deep fried burger that just felt awful. Like, I'm not saying it was a full-fledged cheeseburger that was deep fried. Like, it was battered and deep fried at a county fair. I was just like, I'll try it, and I felt like I needed to go, like I was going to go into cardiac arrest for like the next 3 days. Like, it was that bad.
Yeah. So if you ever watch The Simpsons, that's what Krusty Burger does with all his burgers. He builds the burger, throws them in the fryer, and they look terrible. But obviously Homer and Bart keep going back. So I would love that. I think the wildest thing that I had was probably deep fried butter. And don't get me wrong, it was awesome. But
deep fried butter.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Are you okay? I'm more concerned about this guy. Deep fried rattlesnake. Are you crazy? What?
Hey, I've had grilled rattlesnake. It's good on pizza.
Dude, no, why again, whoever said that comment, why would you try to eat something that wants to eat you? No thanks.
No, obviously, no pun intended with your background, but they removed the venom from the rattlesnake. They cooked it up, and it is damn good.
Oh my gosh, like that. Oh man. And then I'm looking at Levi Schoen's Krispy Kreme fried chicken ice cream sandwich.
Now that sounds really good.
That I don't know.
I love Krispy Kreme.
Now I want y'all to know something. I love, admire, and respect Scott Bryant for the man that he is and being in the monster truck world and what he's done for the industry. But Scott Bryant, pig brains? Come on,
what?
He said eat the predators. I mean,
and he's eating pig brains. I'm so, huh?
You do realize that the pigs offer bacon, right?
I know, but bacon brains, like,
would you eat brains? If you knew they were brains, you wouldn't eat them.
I don't know. Like I said, I admire Scott Bryant, but I don't know if I could do pig brains, man. I don't know.
Was it a dare? I think the weirdest I've ever heard anybody trying, and this is like family that used to run in the rodeo days, was bull balls.
Yeah.
And that's like a Southern thing. I don't know why.
It's not a very common Southern thing. Okay. Let's just say we've heard of it, but the same ones down here don't do that shit.
Anyway, I'm so sorry that we went on this tangent of like really weird foods for all you guys that want to tune in and talk about monster trucks, but it just kind of go hand in hand.
Deep fried frog legs. I've heard of those.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Kind of a dare. Okay, we'll let you off the hook if it was kind of a dare. I mean, you get bored when you're out there on the road. It's like, hey, I'll give you $20, or hey, I'll fuel up your truck, or hey, I'll weld this for you if you eat this.
But let's just say we all love monster trucks. We thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Now, on Wheels Up Wednesday, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I do have a hot topic that we're going to discuss on Wednesday, but Slinger Groom was talking about this earlier. Scott Jordan was supposed to be on the show tonight, and I'm just going to say this: it takes a lot, okay, to be a guest on the on the Throttle Out show. Okay,
You're messing this up, man.
You got to go through our PR rep, which in turn gets back into the show owner, and the communication was just not clear there. No, I'm kidding. It does not take a lot to be on the Throttle Out show, but Scott Jordan will be back at another time on the. God, I almost did it again.
You want me to do it? Some things came up, so Scott Jordan couldn't be on tonight, but he'll be on another night. I don't know if it'll be in the next week or so, maybe a month down the road, but he will be on the show, just not tonight.
And this is not the Scott Jordan show.
No, this is not Scott Jordan.
However, I believe we do actually have a guest lined up for after 4th of July weekend, do we not?
We do.
We do.
But we're not going to say who it is right now.
Yeah,
Spence.
we'll wait to say
Okay.
that.
All right. Yeah, we'll keep you guys waiting. That's all that matters.
Mhm.
But nonetheless, Scott Jordan will be on the show at some point. It'll be a great show. So that is postponed for now. Not canceled, but just postponed for now. Austin, you got anything else before we sign off?
Honestly, man, it's just good to be back. I'm having a ton of fun. Also, I'm surprised nobody's commented on my beard not being as bushy and long. I no longer look like Luke Combs. I look like me. So it probably didn't help. I grilled some burgers on our Lucifer grill. I literally almost singed all my eyebrows off. I thought I was gonna have to get into my wife's makeup kit just to look presentable to come on the show tonight. But no, as of right now, no, I don't have anything. Again, thank you guys all so much for tuning in and hanging out with us on Sundays and Wednesdays. This is honestly the highlight to our week. We love what we do, and we love hanging out and chatting it up with you guys. Even though I might say some things that some of you guys in the comments don't agree with, but hey, it is what it is. We love this. That's
a part of it. And we've been talking about doing a giveaway. We've already done one. It was a huge success for everyone involved. We had a lot of fun. Another giveaway is coming soon, but we got to activate it once we hit 250 on our subscriber list on YouTube. I think we're about 214, 215 right now, so we got a little ways to go. And then we'll be doing a giveaway featuring a $100 Visa gift card. So don't sleep on that. Get there, subscribe, like the rest of our social media pages. Thank you, Connor Bauer, for all that you do for our show. Y'all, don't ever forget this. Remember, when in doubt, throttle out. Peace out, y'all. Good night, Spence.
See you guys.